Rob, you're CEO of high-tech accelerator Flamingo Sky. Could you just tell me where you see the growth opportunities there are in investment at the moment?
Well, we work predominantly with high-tech, high-growth companies, so we're always looking for cutting-edge technology, but the ability for companies to grow at an exponential rate. There's a lot of money going into social still. There's a lot of money going to big data, and there's quite a lot of money going into video streaming and the provision of mobile telephony and mobile video and that type of thing. There, our main thrust at the moment is in big data and software, mobile apps, and mobile. That's where we are at the moment. That's the predominant amount of our deal flow comes from those three areas.
Actually, one of the stats that came from the Harvey Nash Technology Survey was that about half of companies are doing something with big data, but half of those aren't really seeing a huge amount of success right now. I'm just wondering, given that fact, given that only a quarter of companies are seeing success, do you see that actually changing in the future?
I'm not sure I do. I mean, I see it's happened before. Years ago, we looked at CRM type systems, and people were putting lots of money into CRM. Companies were investing huge amounts in CRM, but not seeing the value of the CRM. And even today, if you engage with a large-scale call centre or large business, you don't feel the benefit of that large CRM expenditure. What was going to be the one-to-one relationship with the individual, that doesn't exist even now after all of that money spent. And I see big data potentially in a similar area. People feel the need to do things in big data, but they may not necessarily know what big data means in terms of the overall enterprise and the value to the business. We used to call it business intelligence on demand, the Nappy and Beers scenario. But there's no real, for me, understanding of how big data is going to be used at a individual level. And that's the next stage for big data, as far as I can see, is the usability of the output from the big data algorithms. How are individuals within businesses going to harness large amounts of data to give them some real insights into their day-to-day job? That still doesn't exist. We can get global figures and global ideas, but the granularity is yet to be proven.
Very recently, Twitter obviously IPO'd, worth tens of billions of dollars, gone up and down recently actually by a few billion, so it's a bit sort of a up and downy. But putting kind of your razor-sharp thinking as an investor and your kind of financial modelling, is Twitter worth what it is worth right now?
Well, if you talk a classic way of valuing a company, then you'd have to say no. The company still hasn't made a profit. It's had a huge amount of money invested in it, carries a lot of debt. Is it worth that amount of money? Well, no. Is a public flotation of that type in the New York Stock Exchange capable of producing these type of results? Obviously it is. We've seen what happened with Facebook. The problem with Facebook, of course, is that the moment they floated, quite a lot of corporates decided that Facebook advertising and Facebook presence didn't mean a great deal to them from a revenue generation perspective and started to come off the site. There's been lots of issues with the Facebook float. It was overvalued for starters. The thing with Twitter is, whilst it's got less users than Facebook overall, it's got more immediacy, more credibility in terms of how it will be used in the future by marketing people. It's real time. It's on your phone. It's on. It's the way that Twitter has future value is really in what we've just talked about. The one-to-one relationship, the thing that CRM couldn't do. But certainly where the value I see in Twitter is further down the line, advertising clearly, and that's, I think, where the large advertising companies and where the valuation is coming from. But there's a long way to go for it, yeah, I think. It won't turn a profit for a while.
A lot to watch out for. Rob, thank you very much.